What it means is that perhaps for him, his attention is not even there. You see, his attention is not even there. And for somebody who is a leader of the district, this is something that they should have a database to know the infrastructure of all schools and how they can assist. But I'm sure if you push it further, he will also try to pass the back to a higher level, because maybe, but that is not what he said anyway. If he has said that they have done their best and the resources have not come in, but to say that he doesn't know is something that I think it's not tenable to accept.
But when it comes to some of these structures, who's supposed to do the integrity works on them to see whether they're feasible or not? I mean, yes, GS has a lot of people working in there. I'm sure they have different departments in there. Do they have people whose job and responsibility it is to go around the schools? You say, well, we're checking whether the school, has this or has that. Doc, please.
There's this monitoring and evaluation team.
Yeah.
But then, as to how efficient, how successful they are in their job duties, line of action, that no one knows. And Prof has said it, that the supervision, the transparency, letting people know what you are doing, how you are doing it, and what brings about the conclusions that you make, it's not there.
How about the headmistress? Where, if what we're hearing from the students is anything to go by, if indeed that is the truth, where we are told that the headmistress, and we know my producer has tried severally to reach the headmistress this morning, she hasn't picked up her call. I am hearing some very, 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 very disturbing news. Very disturbing news, from Adria. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, hoping that what I'm hearing or what I've heard is not really the truth. But the Director of Education for the area says it has not come to his attention. Students are saying that, well, they have repeatedly raised these concerns, and they're told that there's no money. Will you be surprised if the headmistress of the school, has not raised this before, let's say, the District Director of Education there? But before, Teiko, tell me your initial thoughts about this whole thing, and then the headmistress of the school, whether if indeed the structure was not that solid, was weak, what she's done about it.
Yes. First of all, good morning to our listeners. David, my problem has to do with who becomes a headmaster. I think this brings for the Ghana Education Service, the hierarchy, and who becomes a headmaster of a school. Because sometimes the people who become headmaster, sometimes because of the number of years they spent in becoming teachers, and so they don't have a clue about how to manage an institution. Because sometimes when you listen to some of the excuses they give, like you try calling them, they don't pick the calls, and sometimes even the schools, do they have the structures? Are they resourced enough? Do they have people, estate managers and all the other positions to make sure that these institutions work to protect each and everyone who even enters the school, not only the inhabitants of the school? So sometimes in fact, all of us went through this system, and when we were in school, I think some of these things were there. There were structures that we were using that we knew were problematic, but who are you to even complain? As Doc said, we are trained to take instructions, not to even challenge the system. And so when we have issues on campus and we want to report to our headmasters or our teachers, how do we even say it? Do we have even the opportunity to challenge them? And when we try to challenge them, what happens to us? The sanctions that are there even makes us so timid that when things are wrong, we are not able to complain. That's how come students over the years have been eating substandard food, staying in some standard structures for all these years. And my pain about the education director that you spoke to is, I think authorities should ask about the number of times he has written to higher authorities about this structure, because you can't.
And he says he saw it, and there was nothing wrong with the structure.
And we spoke to somebody who said that he saw the structure, but he has not entered it. And I was like, wow.
So let's take a listen to some of the students narrate to us what actually happened yesterday around 5 p.m.